Imagine going to work every day without realizing your employee stock could one day be worth millions. That's what happened to thousands of Nvidia employees. As artificial intelligence fueled Nvidia's rise, years of ownership turned into life-changing wealth. But this wasn't luck, it was patience, innovation, and belief in a long-term vision. Every overnight success has a beginning that almost nobody remembers. Long before Nvidia became one of the world's most valuable companies, it was a small startup founded in 1993 with an ambitious goal: build graphics processors capable of pushing computers beyond their existing limits. The technology industry moved at a relentless pace, where promising startups often disappeared before reaching profitability. Nvidia faced intense competition, limited resources, and constant pressure, making every product launch critical to the company's survival. Inside the company, engineers spent years solving complex technical problems, focused not on becoming wealthy, but on building faster, more powerful graphics processors. As video games became increasingly advanced, Nvidia's GPUs earned a reputation for performance and innovation, gradually establishing the company as a leader in graphics technology. Despite growing success, uncertainty remained. Nvidia continued investing heavily in research instead of chasing short-term profits, relying on patience and a long-term vision. During those early years, employees received company stock alongside their salaries. At the time, those shares seemed like an ordinary part of compensation, and few imagined they would someday be worth extraordinary fortunes. Many simply held their stock while continuing to build new technologies. Year after year, Nvidia expanded beyond gaming, quietly investing in ideas that seemed far ahead of their time. Then, artificial intelligence changed everything. The same technology foundation built over decades suddenly became essential to one of the world's biggest technological revolutions. Years of innovation, ownership, and patience transformed ordinary employee stock into extraordinary wealth, creating one of the greatest wealth-building stories in modern corporate history. For years, Nvidia steadily improved its graphics processors, earning respect throughout the gaming and technology industries. Although successful, few people imagined the company would one day become one of the world's most valuable businesses. Behind the scenes, researchers discovered that Nvidia's GPUs could do far more than power video games. Their parallel computing architecture made them ideal for complex scientific calculations, supporting fields such as medical research, engineering, and climate modeling. Then came artificial intelligence, and everything changed. As AI models became larger and more sophisticated, they demanded enormous computing power. Traditional processors struggled, but Nvidia's GPUs proved perfectly suited for training and running advanced AI systems. Demand exploded. Technology companies, cloud providers, startups, and research organizations raced to build AI infrastructure, filling data centers with thousands of Nvidia chips. Investors quickly recognized the opportunity. Revenue surged. Confidence grew, and Nvidia's market value climbed to extraordinary heights, transforming the company into one of the most important players in modern computing. For employees, the impact was remarkable. Many had spent years receiving company stock as part of their compensation, often viewing it as a routine benefit rather than a life-changing investment. As Nvidia's share price soared, those stock grants appreciated dramatically. Engineers, software developers, researchers, designers, and countless other employees suddenly found themselves holding portfolios worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. This wasn't the result of overnight luck. It reflected decades of innovation, meeting one of the biggest technological revolutions in history. Behind the headlines, thousands of long-term employees were finally seeing the rewards of patience and ownership. But how did so many employees accumulate enough shares to benefit so dramatically? The answer begins with Nvidia's long-standing philosophy of rewarding employees not only with salaries, but with ownership in the company's future. To understand how thousands of Nvidia employees became millionaires, you first have to understand one of the technology industry's most powerful ideas: employee ownership. Instead of rewarding workers only with salaries, Nvidia also granted company stock, allowing employees to share directly in the company's long-term success. These shares didn't become available all at once. They vested gradually over several years, encouraging employees to stay, contribute, and think like long-term owners rather than short-term workers. In Nvidia's early years, those stock grants seemed like an uncertain bonus. Few imagined they would someday become extraordinarily valuable. Some employees sold shares to meet financial needs, while others continued holding them through years of uncertainty. As Nvidia expanded, many employees received additional stock grants, steadily building larger ownership positions over time. Then artificial intelligence transformed the company's business, sending demand for its technology and the value of its shares to unprecedented levels. This success wasn't limited to executives. Engineers, software developers, chip designers, researchers, product managers, and professionals across the company all participated in stock-based compensation, sharing in the rewards of years of innovation. Of course, stock ownership always involves risk. Markets fluctuate, and long-term success is never guaranteed. Yet many employees stayed committed, believing in Nvidia's future despite the uncertainty. That alignment became one of Nvidia's greatest strengths. When employees think like owners, innovation and long-term success become shared goals. The story of Nvidia's employee millionaires isn't simply about a soaring stock price. It's about ownership, patience, and decades of innovation, rewarding the people who helped build one of the world's most influential technology companies. As Nvidia's growth accelerated, its success reached far beyond Wall Street. For thousands of employees, years of dedication were rewarded with something many never expected: financial independence. People who joined to solve engineering challenges or build innovative products suddenly discovered their long-term ownership had become incredibly valuable. These weren't overnight success stories. They were software developers, hardware engineers, AI researchers, product managers, designers, and professionals across the company whose daily work quietly helped build one of the world's most influential technology businesses. Many had remained with Nvidia through years of uncertainty, product launches, changing markets, and intense competition. That long-term commitment became one of the biggest reasons behind their financial success. As Nvidia's market value climbed, employee stock appreciated alongside it. Shares, once viewed as routine compensation, gradually became assets capable of transforming entire families' futures. For some, the new wealth meant paying off homes, funding their children's education, investing in new businesses, supporting charitable causes, or achieving financial independence. Every story was different, but they all reflected years of patient ownership. Not everyone experienced the same outcome. Individual results depended on when employees joined, how long they stayed, their roles, and the stock grants they accumulated over time. Even so, Nvidia's success extended far beyond founders and executives, rewarding employees across many parts of the organization. As the company became one of the world's most valuable businesses, thousands of ordinary employees quietly shared in that success. But one important question remained: why did some employees build fortunes far larger than others? The answer lies in timing, patience, and the extraordinary power of long-term ownership. Although Nvidia created wealth for thousands of employees, not everyone experienced the same financial outcome. Some accumulated fortunes worth millions, while others saw more modest gains. The biggest difference was usually timing, long-term commitment, and how much stock employees accumulated over the years. Those who joined Nvidia early received shares when the company was much smaller and its future far less certain. At the time, those stock grants carried significant risk. No one knew Nvidia would eventually become a global leader in artificial intelligence. Time became the greatest advantage. Employees who stayed with the company continued receiving additional stock grants throughout their careers, gradually building larger ownership positions. Then came the AI boom. As demand for Nvidia's technology surged, the value of years of accumulated shares increased dramatically. What began as routine compensation evolved into life-changing wealth for many long-term employees. Of course, holding company stock wasn't always easy. Nvidia's share price experienced periods of volatility, and many employees faced difficult financial decisions along the way. Some sold shares to buy homes, support their families, or diversify their investments, while others continued holding larger positions for the future. Career growth also played an important role. Employees who accepted greater responsibilities often received larger stock awards, increasing their ownership as the company expanded. The biggest lesson is that extraordinary wealth rarely comes from one perfect decision. It grows through years of consistent effort, patience, and ownership. As Nvidia's success accelerated, the impact reached far beyond individual employees, strengthening families, inspiring entrepreneurs, and creating ripple effects across the broader technology industry. When people think about a rising stock price, they often focus on investors or executives. But Nvidia's success created a much broader impact. As thousands of employees built significant wealth, the benefits spread into families, communities, and the wider technology industry. Financial independence gave many employees opportunities they had never imagined. Some bought homes, supported their children's education, or helped family members. Others gained the freedom to retire early, start new businesses, or pursue careers driven by passion instead of financial necessity. Many former employees carried their experience into startups focused on artificial intelligence, robotics, cybersecurity, healthcare, and semiconductor technology. In this way, Nvidia's success helped fuel a new generation of innovation. The impact extended beyond individuals. Employee wealth supported education, scientific research, charitable organizations, and local communities, while growing technology hubs attracted new businesses, investment, and skilled talent. Nvidia's rise also reinforced an important lesson across the technology industry. Long-term investment in research and innovation can create extraordinary value not only for shareholders, but also for the employees helping build the company. As artificial intelligence expanded across industries, demand for Nvidia's technology continued growing, placing the company at the center of one of the most significant technological transformations of the century. Perhaps the greatest ripple effect was cultural. Shared ownership encouraged employees to think like long-term builders, focusing on innovation instead of short-term results. Nvidia's journey reminds us that remarkable success is rarely created overnight. It grows through patience, continuous innovation, and people willing to believe in a long-term vision. But beyond the wealth, what lasting lessons does this extraordinary story offer for the future of technology and investing? Nvidia's story is often celebrated as one of the greatest stock market success stories in modern history. But the real lesson goes far beyond a soaring share price. Behind every headline was a company that spent decades investing in innovation long before the world recognized its full potential. The first lesson is that extraordinary value is rarely created overnight. Nvidia spent years improving its technology, patiently building the expertise that later became essential to the artificial intelligence revolution. The second lesson is the power of ownership. By rewarding employees with company stock, Nvidia allowed thousands of people to share directly in the company's long-term success. As the business grew, so did the value of their ownership. Another important lesson is that uncertainty is part of every great journey. Nvidia faced intense competition, changing technology, and unpredictable markets. Yet the company continued investing in research even when future rewards were far from guaranteed. For investors, the story highlights the importance of understanding businesses rather than simply chasing rising stock prices. Strong companies build lasting value through innovation, talent, disciplined execution, and long-term thinking. At the same time, responsible investing always requires patience, diversification, and an awareness that no company's future is guaranteed. Perhaps the most inspiring lesson is that extraordinary outcomes are often created by ordinary people solving difficult problems year after year. Financial success became the result, not the goal of their work. As artificial intelligence continues transforming the global economy, Nvidia's influence is still growing. Its greatest legacy may not be its market value, but the lasting impact of innovation, ownership, and the thousands of employees who helped build one of the world's most influential technology companies. From a small graphics startup to one of the world's most influential technology companies, Nvidia's journey proves that extraordinary success is rarely the result of a single breakthrough. It is built through decades of innovation, disciplined execution, and thousands of people working toward a shared vision. Along the way, the company transformed not only the future of computing, but also the lives of many employees who helped build it. Engineers, researchers, software developers, designers, and professionals across the organization saw years of dedication rewarded through employee ownership. What began as ordinary stock grants gradually became life-changing financial opportunities. Yet the most remarkable part of this story isn't simply the wealth that was created, it's how it was created. Employees stayed focused on solving difficult problems, improving technology, and delivering value to customers. Financial success became the result of long-term commitment rather than short-term speculation. Nvidia's rise also demonstrates how innovation can reshape entire industries. Technology originally designed for computer graphics now powers artificial intelligence, scientific research, healthcare, robotics, and countless other fields around the world. At the same time, this journey reminds us that no investment is guaranteed. Markets change, competition evolves, and long-term success always requires continuous innovation. Perhaps the greatest lesson is simple: keep learning, create meaningful value, and think beyond short-term results. Patience and ownership can become powerful advantages over time. As artificial intelligence continues transforming the world, new opportunities will emerge. But the qualities behind lasting success, vision, discipline, curiosity, and persistence are unlikely to change. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, be sure to like, subscribe, and join us for more stories exploring the companies and innovations shaping our future.